what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Masters, dear gentlemen, in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Hanif Al-Ghani from Atlanta. We have Brother Captain Hakeem and the Believers in Richmond. We have Sister Hala Brooks from California. We have Sister Fajara from New York. And we have Brother Daniel Shabazz from Arizona. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's reading words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today we like to talk about the great deceiver and their imps. Because the main thing that we have to do today is not just tell the black man the truth, but tell him where the truth comes from. Because we don't just have a great deceiver, we also have their imps. And when you look up the definition for imp, it's a small, mischievous devil. All praise is due to Allah. We already know that the white man is the big devil. Yes. We want to make that clear. The white race is the great deceiver. Yes. They have deceived the whole world. The black man, the messenger, taught us is righteous by nature. Yes. But he said we can act other than our own self. So we can choose to follow the devil. So when we follow the devil, we become one of his imps. So we see Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I watched a little bit of the debate between them two. It was a shame with Biden. Like, why they letting him do it to himself? He need to sit down somewhere. Joe Biden remind me of this hypocrite Louis Eugene. I be like, why they let this hypocrite do it to himself? Yes, tell this hypocrite to sit down somewhere. That's how I feel about old Joe Biden. Yes, Joe Biden is the Louis Farrakhan and Trump is Bus Stop Bishop. That's how I see him. Bus Stop Bishop a big dummy, but he don't know he a dummy, like Trump. So Bus stop bishop is the devil's imp.
Yes.
He's a little devil.
Yes.
In the Bible, it talks about the white race. It talks about how Satan transforms himself into an angel of light. That's what the devil done. For 6,000 years, the white race has transformed themselves into an angel of light. Everybody looked to the white man for the truth. They looked to the white man for guidance. Then God came. And God came with the truth that attacked the white race at their core.
Yes.
So now the white man is not just seen as an angel of light. Now the truth on the scene. That's where the imps come in. Farrakhan is an imp too.
Yes.
Because what imps do, they try to transform themselves into the messenger. That's what they do. This hypocrite Lewis and Bus Stop Bishop. First, we gonna start with Bus Stop Bishop. When you look at Bus Stop Bishop, he has, when they had their videos, it says, "We are not a hate group." This is what Bus Stop Bishop is saying, not trying to transform himself into the messenger. Because the white race was seen as the angel of light until the messenger came.
Right.
Everybody was looking to the white man for advice, looking to the white man for guidance until the messenger came.
Yes.
So when the messenger ripped the white man from his core, because the messenger taught us that Allah gave him the authority to pull the covers off the white race.
That's right.
And he said, I give that authority to you
Yes.
to continue to pull the covers off the white race.
That's right.
So while the messenger was pulling the covers off the white race, you got the imps that was sitting back watching the messenger getting jealous. So now that the messenger is no longer alive, you have the imps trying to stand in the place of the messenger. So now Bus Stop Bishop is saying, we are not a hate group. Why does he say they not a hate group? First, we got to go to 1959. This is the August 13th, 1959 California Eagle. This was a black newspaper out of California. The title says, "Whites Barred as Messenger Elijah Muhammad Speaks to the Faithful." We got to talk about this old imp, Bus Stop Bishop, because I don't like this imp. I'm going to just keep it real. Because I believe one day the Nation of Islam going to get back to being how it used to be.
Yes.
I love a fight that happened in the Holy Quran that the Muslims was losing. It says in the Holy Quran how Allah can cause you to win or he can allow you to lose. So the Muslims was losing. So Allah said in the Holy Quran, he wanted to see the hypocrites and the believers. When I first saw that, it immediately became my favorite story about Prophet Muhammad's battles. Because the battle that happened that caused the believers or the Muslims to start shaking. Because Prophet Muhammad initially, they was about to go fight an enemy that they thought they could just beat up on. So they was cool with that. They felt like they outnumbered the enemy. They were stronger than the enemy. So they was feeling Prophet, yeah, we can go beat up on them. Then Prophet Muhammad changed his mind. He said, no, I want to go fight them. They was a little bit different. They was stronger. It was more of. So the followers of Prophet Muhammad began to doubt. They started looking at Prophet Muhammad with not that same assurity that they did when they thought they was going to beat up on the enemy. So Allah said in the Holy Quran, he talks about how Allah causes us to win or he can allow us to lose. But he said in this particular incident, I want to see the hypocrites and the believers. So that's how I feel with bus stop. Allah want to see the hypocrites and the believers. So Allah has allowed bus stop Bishop to get up pretty high. He got a large following. He dragging the message. Where the believers at? I feel like the messenger felt. When the messenger went to prison, he talked about how much strain was on him. The messenger said that when Master Farad Muhammad told him, he said he had been on the run for 7 years for his life. He said it was a hard run. He said it wasn't an easy run. He said because the hypocrites was on my heels. He said it was plenty close calls. So he said after he had been running for 7 years with the hypocrites on his heels, plenty of close calls, he said Master Farad Muhammad had told him all the hypocrites is dead. So of course you think I'm cool. I can go home, see my wife, see my children. I can chill. About a week. Next week I'll pick it back up. Cause you'll take a break. After being running for 7 years of your life, I know I'll take a break. Go home, my wife, let's go get a pizza or something. Let's just chill. I ain't seen y'all in a while. But the messenger said, on the eve, when Master Farad Muhammad told him the hypocrites was dead, the FBI picked him up to go to jail for 5 years. He said it was a lot of pressure on him, a lot of strain. But he said, I didn't cry. He said, just like any man, I wanted to be a father to my children, all that. But he said, I knew one day I would be the winner. He didn't say he knew what day. He said, I knew one day I'd be the winner. That's how I feel about bus stop. That's why I've become addicted to watching bus stop. If a day goes by and I'm so busy to where I can't watch him, it feels like something missing. That's how much I love watching. I love to see bus stop taking a sip out his little mug. This nigga done got so comfortable mud watching the message. Now this nigga groomed himself a little bit better than he used to. That nigga used to look like a homeless man on the street. Now he kind of groomed his beard a little better. Now he have on little finer clothes. Nigga be outside in his patio with his mug telling the black man some words of wisdom. I love watching. He just like Goliath. Goliath thought, look at this little nigga David. I know they know about the belief. Look at these little niggas talking about me. Now he's standing with his mug. David say he just don't know. All I need is 7 smooth rocks. I don't need a sword. I don't need a shield. I don't need a helmet. I don't need nobody. All I need, 7 smooth rocks and a slingshot. 4 big Goliaths. That's how I feel about bus stop. We done already see what Master Farad Muhammad can do. That's right. He raised the messenger. Yeah. We saw that messenger for 44 years. We seen him try. I ain't never seen bus stop try. Not one fight with the police. Not one. messenger was fighting with the police in 1934. I love listening to the messenger talk about. He say it's in the records. When the messenger was talking about them fighting the police in 34 in Detroit and 35 in Chicago, he say it's in the public record. He wasn't just telling us no. Everything I'm telling you is public record. We done fought police. We done been killed. We done had our temples raided. We done had Muslim ministers killed. We done seen all that. In 93 years, we still here. So we seen what Allah can do. Yes. We ain't never seen bus stop under pressure. We ain't never seen bus stop step to an enemy that was equally matched with him. We ain't seen that. We ain't seen how bus stop Bishop them react when one of the ones who you thought was strong get killed. One of the ones you thought was strong turned hypocrite. We ain't seen none of that with him. So I'm not impressed. So I love watching this nigga. I love how calm this nigga is while he talking about the message. Love watching this nigga. I just want to be one of the ones with the Muslims. That's all I want to do. Just be with the Muslims. When the tables turn. That's all I'm saying. So why do this nigga have, we are not a hate group. Because all the imps is trying to take the place of the last and greatest messenger of Allah. Yes, so let's go to the messenger. We want to start with the August 13, 1959. This is the California Eagle. It say whites barred as messenger Elijah speaks to the faithful. It says a white barred sign was hung outside of St. Nicholas Arena here last Sunday when messenger Elijah Muhammad, I like that. They called a messenger Elijah Muhammad. Yes. They wasn't as disrespectful to the messenger as these imps is today. We gonna read further in this article why they showed the messenger so much respect. Not only did they show the messenger respect because they could actually see him at work. It's a difference between having niggas like Bus Stop who ain't never seen the messenger at work, nor have you seen those who love him. That's the thing I hate in this new school stuff. We don't see Muslims who love the message. We just see Muslims who try to pretend to be Muslims. Muslims who use the messenger's teachings to make yourself something. Right. But when the messenger was alive, niggas like Bus Stop could see a Muslim who loved the message. When you love the message, you don't care what nobody think as far as your belief is concerned. You don't care what your family think. You don't care what the white man think. You don't care what the police think. You don't care what the judge think. You don't care what the warden think. You don't care what these prisoners think. You don't care what nobody think. It's the message. So when they would address the message, it says a white's barred sign was hung outside of St. Nicholas Arena here last Sunday when messenger Elijah Muhammad, black supremacist leader of a Muslim cult. Where was Bus Stop them at in 1959? Because they was calling the messenger a black supremacist leader. This was when black Hebrew Israelites was still wearing yarmulkes, still doing bar mitzvahs, still in the synagogue. But they was listening to it. We gotta always remember, the niggas we see today that's so tough and so hard and so not, they always been around. But they was too scared and too afraid to use what they had to challenge the white man. Right. Everybody believed they had the truth, but they only had the truth among themselves. These black Hebrew Israelites didn't have that truth that you would be bold to go out in the street, on the mountaintop, and say Allah came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, July 4th, 1930. He is the long-awaited Savior. He is the divine supreme being. He is God in person. I was taught by him for 3.5 years. He taught me the only solution for the black man. Not a solution, not a good solution, but the only solution for the black man. If you don't think so, he said, let's take what you have. If you got better than what I have, I'll take what I have and my followers and come follow you. He said, but if what I have is better, you should bring your followers and come follow me. Ain't no we gonna coexist. And we gonna take a little bit from what you got. No, if what I have is better than what you have, then you bring your followers and come follow me. That was the messenger. Yes, sir. So the messenger, he did not allow white people to come to the meeting. Right. He was the first black man to practice separation. The black man had been segregated for years. The first time I read the article where the messenger explained the difference because I didn't even know. I always thought segregation was separation. Until I read the messenger explain the difference between separation and segregation. He said segregation was forced on the black man. Separate but equal. But it wasn't equal. The black man get the worst and the white man get the best. Right. That's segregation. Right. Segregation was forced on the black man. But he said separation is what we had from the beginning. Right. He said we always been separated. He said separation is an agreement between two equals. That's what separation is. Yes. When you got your own farm, when you got your own businesses, when you got your own culture, when you got your own everything and you doing for self and you say, I don't want to be with you. That's separation. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the first black man in America to practice separation. Yes. When he practiced separation, he said the white man's not allowed to come to our meeting. Right. So the article goes on. It says, a white barred sign was hung outside of St. Nicholas Arena here last Sunday when Messenger Elijah Muhammad, black supremacist leader of a Muslim cult, spoke for 2 hours to nearly 6,000 people. Now the Muslims challenged this number that they was talking about. It was only 6,000 people. Because when the messenger went to New York to St. Nicholas Arena, the inside capacity, I think all of the seats was 6,000. Standing room was 100. But they didn't count the people on the outside. The messenger had people on the outside of St. Louis Arena wrapped around the arena, plus they was going down the block. That's what they don't talk about when they be writing this stuff. That's why the research of history is so good. They said that the police had to move the barricades several times because the crowd outside continued to swell, continued to move further down the block. That was the message. Long before niggas like bus stop, messenger packed out the arena plus outside, down the block. So it goes on to say, it says the anti-white, anti-integration movement, which has been developing spottily for the past few years, with its principal points of concentration in New York's Harlem, Chicago's South Side, and to a lesser extent in Los Angeles, received national recognition several weeks ago when Mike Wallace conducted a series of TV programs labeled The Hate That Hate Produced. Yes. This the message. Yes, sir. The Hate That Hate Produced is another good source of history that we can use against fakes like Bus Stop. Because it was only two groups at the time that they saw as a black supremacist group. Out of all the black groups in America, it was only two. The Nation of Islam was the only one well established, well organized, had a lot of members, state to state, had businesses, well organized. The other group was just a brother who had a few people talking a lot of, talking some talk. But the messenger was organized. The messenger had a following. The messenger could attract thousands. So it was only two groups. No black Hebrew Israelites in sight. So let's go on with the art. It says in his St. Nicholas speech, Muhammad commented that the editor of the newspaper may drop my column in a few days because he has rabbit's blood in him. That was the message. Yes, pointing out to Uncle Tom's. Messenger wasn't like this hypocrite Louis Eugene. Messenger felt like he hadn't even dropped his article yet. But he felt like this nigga got rabbit blood in him. He probably gonna drop my article. What you think the messenger would have said to Bus Stop? This man printing his article. The editor putting his article in his paper. He didn't take it out yet. But the messenger saw him. He got rabbit blood. I saw him. After this Hate That Hate Produced, he probably gonna take it out because he got rabbit blood in him. Way different from this hypocrite Louis. Louis ain't saying nothing to Bus Stop and they be on the corner talking against the message. Just as that as a side note. Now let's get to my favorite part. It say for the next 2 hours, amid shouts and applause, he poured out his scorn upon all white devils, satisfied black men, the poison Bible, Christian slave masters doctrine, and America's white for white justice. Once again, they breaking down all the subjects that the messenger was covering in his speech. Long before niggas like Bus Stop. Right. The nigga that's sipping his coffee mug. Telling niggas the words of wisdom. Where was he at in 19? And the messenger had been on the scene by 1959 for 20 plus years. Yes. Breaking down all them different subjects. To all them only black, the crowd is an all black audience. Right. Let's look at what he was breaking down. It says, he poured out his scorn upon all white devils. Then it says, satisfied blacks. This hypocrite, he don't talk, he the old my black brother. That's what Farrakhan has done. He the old my black brother nation of, oh my black brother. Messenger was talking about the editor of the magazine, plus he talking about other satisfied blacks. Everybody was under the knife with the messenger. Right. Muslims was under the knife. His followers under the knife. The white man under the knife. Weak, coward black men everybody was under the knife with the message. Yes. So it goes on to say, it says, all white devils, satisfied black men, the poison Bible, Bus Stop Bishop and them act like they teaching the black man the Bible. But the messenger taught us the Bible. It says Christianity slave master doctrine. Another thing when he's sipping on his coffee mug, giving everybody the words of wisdom. He breaking down the Bible. He talking about Christianity. And on his back patio. That's bus stop. Then it says, and America's white for white justice. It says such cold black hatred plus. Not just the messenger teaching all this cold black hatred. They say plus. Muhammad's elite corps of dark suited, shaven, pull up, young honor guard have lifted his Muslims well beyond the run of the street crockpot Negro nationalist groups. What is an honor guard? Before we start back talking about bus stop, what do the white man mean when he say an honor guard? It says an honor guard is a group of people, often from the military, who perform ceremonial duties. They are known for their attention to detail and precision. Honor guards may be tasked with receiving or guarding dignitaries, escorting or welcoming distinguished guests, accompanying a casket in a military funeral, presenting and guarding flags, and rendering honors. That's what an honor guard is. So when you see them walking, the Secret Service walking with the president, that's an honor guard. Yes. When you see the military walking and securing dignitaries, that's an honor guard. They saw the messengers FOI like the Secret Service. Who was watching? Niggas like bus stop. Yes, sir. Niggas like bus stop. Listening to, damn. Look at them brothers guarding old Muhammad. We don't do that. We be in the synagogue. We be having small hats like the white man. Yes, sir. We need to be more like Muhammad. But we ain't gonna give Muhammad no credit though. While we still licking the white man's boots, wearing small hats, letting our black children mingle with their white children, we still gonna tune in to old Muhammad. We ain't figured out yet how we gonna take what he teach and add it to this black Jew garbage. So it goes on to say, it says such cold black hatred plus Muhammad's elite corps of dark suited, shaven, polled young honor guards have lifted his Muslims well beyond the run of the street crockpot Negro nationalists. Indeed, says Time, the Muslims are of rising concern to responsible Negro civic leaders, to the NAACP, to the police departments in half a dozen cities, and to the FBI. They don't say that about niggas like bus stop while this nigga drinking out his mug. They don't make a big fuss about him like they did the messenger. Because when the messenger started ripping the white man to his core, the white man had never heard a black man rip them like that before. So it caused the uproar. Yes. Mike Wallace, with the hate that hate produced.
What are they saying? Listen.
I charge the white man with being the greatest liar on earth. I charge the white man with being the greatest drunkard on earth. I charge the white man with being the greatest swine eater on earth, yet the Bible forbids it. I charge the white man with being the greatest gambler on earth. I charge the white man, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, with being the greatest murderer on earth. I charge the white man with being the greatest peace breaker on earth. I charge the white man with being the greatest adulterer on earth. I charge the white man with being the greatest robber on earth. I charge the white man with being the greatest deceiver on earth. I charge the white man with being the greatest troublemaker on earth. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I ask you, bring back a verdict of guilty as charged.
The indictment you have just heard is being delivered over and over again in most of the major cities across the country. This charge comes at the climax of a morality play called The Trial. The plot, indeed the message of the play, is that the white man has been put on trial for his sins against the black man. He has been found guilty. The sentence is death. The play is sponsored, produced by a Negro religious group who call themselves the Muslims.
Them white people were shook. Yes. Let's go on even further. It says each of Muhammad's congregations has this fruit of Islam. Force of young men who take judo training in their temples are commanded by Muhammad's burly son-in-law, Supreme Captain Raymond Sharif, says the Time. They say all these little congregations got these elite FOI judo training. Because the messenger was different than this hypocrite Louis Eugene. Louis Eugene just got all them FOI with martial arts just for show. This hypocrite, they about to have a black belt convention. I watched the one they had last year. I'm looking like they got a place as big as like Ford Field or Cobo Hall. Full of black belts. The red belt grandmasters. Whole auditorium full. Bus stop still on the street, mud washing the message. This hypocrite got all kind of black belt, all different styles. That's what this hypocrite do. But the messenger, out of all the history that I done researched in the Nation of Islam, I ain't never seen the messenger have a black belt conference. The way these devils knew that the FOI was elite, by counting all the heads that got whooped. When you disrespect the messenger, we gonna have a convention upside your head. That's how you knew they was elite. That's how you knew they was judo trained, by seeing them dragging somebody out the temple. Yes, sir. That was the message. Like they say on the street, what's understood don't need to be explained. Yes, sir. I don't need to have no black. We gonna have one when you disrespect the message. Right. When you lying on Muslims, we gonna have it upside your head. Yes, but this hypocrite, Louis Eugene, one of the devil's imps, this hypocrite, the messenger, once again. Here in Detroit, I'm going to show the Pittsburgh Carrier. The messenger's FOI was so elite that the messenger in 1958 had to come to Detroit to tell them Muslims to stop stepping to the police. That's how them brothers just get restless. Just see the white man like, man, let's go see what it do, man. These white folks jumping on all these black people. We know all this black belt. Let's go see what it do. Yes. This hypocrite Lewis ain't got no kind of brothers like that at all. He don't never have to go to no city and say, look, brothers, we need to chill out. None of that. They don't even make video responses to bus stop. They don't even say, man, if we gonna be friends, y'all need to chill talking about the message. Right. This hypocrite's FOI can still be friends with bus stop while they dragging the message. That's a hypocrite. Yes, sir. That's why the messenger said you can never be successful with hypocrites on the path. That's right. It don't make a difference how many black belts you got. It don't make a difference how many ministers you got, how many believe. If they hypocrites, it don't make a difference. That's right. So let's go on even further than that. Because we was in California. Now let's go to New York. Because they covered this meeting coast to coast. Yes. So this newspaper is another black newspaper called the New York Age. This time it says 10,000. The other paper said 6,000. This one says 10,000. When the Muslims wrote about it, they said 15,000. But this one says 10,000. 10,000 here, Muhammad. Then you see the little box that's on the front page of the paper. It says Muslim guards bar whites from arena. It says some 20 muscular guards assembled in front of the St. Nicholas Arena Sunday were instructed to keep out all whites. It says if they want news of what the black people are doing, let them hire black reporters, explained Malcolm X. All praise is due to Allah. That's a very important point that we want to point out when we talking about these copycat niggas like Bus Stop. Now, Malcolm X said this, but this wasn't Malcolm X Nation of Islam. No. He was the national representative for the Messenger. This was the Messenger's policy. That's right. The Messenger felt like we don't need these devils coming all in and out of our meetings. Get a black man to do it. That's a win-win. Yes. Now the black man got a job, plus he can hear some Islam. Maybe he might accept. Right. But we don't need devils to be coming in and out of our meetings, in and out of our mosques, in and out of us telling them what's going on. Get a black man to do. Now let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about 3 black men that got put on the map because of the Messenger. Yes. Because we want to show how much of an imp Bus Stop Bishop is. Because the white man does not make a fuss about him. They don't attack him. They don't try to stop what he's doing. They don't interfere at all. Bus Stop is the only black man or black leader in our history in America that ain't never been to jail. Bus Stop can talk about them Christian preachers all you want. They done been to jail. Christian preachers done got killed. Christian preachers' homes done been bombed. Christian preachers done died. All for trying to do what they thought was right for the black man. Right. But when we look at Bus Stop, while this nigga sipping his coffee in his mug like he just done something for the black man. Never been to jail. When the Messenger and other black people will see the fruits of their labor, they can go back and tell you when it wasn't like that. I remember when we had to fight the police. Remember when I went to jail. Bus Stop don't tell them kind of stories. But the Messenger, he put black people on the map because white people were so intrigued about what he taught. Right. Let's go to a black man named Louis Lomax. Louis Lomax was the first black journalist on TV. We don't even talk about that. Because I saw The View, and I ain't gonna talk bad about Whoopi Goldberg. Maybe she didn't know. But she was talking about how, because they was giving Louis Lomax some props. They say it's Black History Month, so Louis Lomax was the first black journalist on TV. She said in 1958, he became the first black journalist on TV. Then she said in 1959 is when he had the opportunity to interview Malcolm X, because Malcolm X would only be interviewed by a black reporter. She got it kind of confused. Yes. So we're here to clear it up. He didn't become the first black newsman until 1959 with the Messenger. Yes. Let's read the history as it was happening. This comes from the July 18, 1959 New York Age. Once again, black newspaper. Yes. It says Louis Lomax, who was just accepted at Post as a permanent reporter on Newsbeat. This was 1950. They say he just accepted. Right. It says Louis Lomax, who has just accepted a post as a permanent reporter on Newsbeat, has been covering this story with a special camera crew. Why a special camera crew? Not only did all the people on the camera crew, they had to be black too. They don't make this kind of fuss about niggas like Bus Stop. Malcolm X said, if y'all want to see what's going on, hire some black people. That's exactly what the white man did. Let's let Louis Lomax. We can get some black. They could have did it all before. But just because the teachers of the Messenger, they were so intrigued, they could say, how in the world can this black man, without none of our cameras, because he don't need our camera. He done got all these black people to listen to what he's saying. He don't get no publicity at all. All he doing is writing in nigger magazines. He ain't writing in the big ones. He just writing in them little nigger magazines with the niggas. But this nigga can come from Chicago to New York, sell out the arena, plus there's other niggas outside waiting to hear this nigga all down the block. What he talking about? What he be doing? How is he doing this? So if we need to get a black reporter and a whole special black camera crew to get in there to see what he doing, that's what we gonna do. That's right. So the white man, with Mike Wallace not gotta wait on Lewis. What you got, Lewis? Tell us what you learned, Lewis. But he waiting on Louis Lomax now. He gotta take the back seat now. So Louis Lomax interviewing the Messenger. Yes. Louis Lomax get to go to the temple and see all this information the white man can't see. Right. He can go to other Muslims' homes, see how they live. All this Louis Lomax was privileged to do just because he was black. Yes, sir. That was the message. That's why they called him a black supremacist group. He thought the black man better than the white man. Yes. This white man don't need to be all up in our business. Get a black man to do. And then when we tell this black man, we know you a spy. He knew that editor had, he said, rabbit's blood. He saw Louis Lomax. Right. He was another coon. Yes. Oh, Louis Lomax. This dude, he would be interviewing sometime outside smoking cigarettes.
The black Muslims are something that had to happen in America. After all, we, the American Negro, are the residual of 500 years of first slavery and then segregation. It was inevitable, I suppose, that, in fact, I know, that one day the Negro would produce a man who would come along and say, my God is bigger than your God, and he can slay your God, and even if he can't slay your God, we will not bow down and serve your God. Yes.
That's the type of nigga he was. He didn't even feel appreciated. He just have no kind of appreciation to the Messenger for what he did. He thought it was him. But let's move on. Another black man that got put on the map because of the Messenger was C. Eric Lincoln. That's right. C. Eric Lincoln came out with his book, Black Muslims in America. Let's see what the white man was saying about C. Eric Lincoln. This comes from the June 1st, 1961, Rock Island Argus. It's called Black Muslim Movement in America Gathers Momentum. He said the Negro explosion of 1961 is so different from other similar incidents that it requires special study. This the white man. Because what Bus Stop Bishop and them like to do, because I listen to them all the time. They talk about and that's how you can tell Bus Stop is so jealous of the Messenger. He talk about the Panthers, get him all kind of props, Talk about how the FBI infiltrated them, how they had good hearts even though they was wrong. They had good hearts. They tried. He talk about Martin Luther King. He talk about Malcolm X. But he don't say nothing about the message. But when the white man saw the message, he said the Negro explosion of 1961 is so different from other similar. Okay, yeah, the Black Panthers was similar. They was militant. They was talking black, but they was different. Marcus Garvey, he was similar, but he was different. This devil said the Negro explosion of 1961 is so different from other similar incidents that it requires special study. We got to study this nigga. When you had the Black Panthers, we don't have to study them. We just put the police on them. When you got Marcus Garvey, we ain't got to study him. We just put the FBI on him. We ain't got to study Martin Luther King. We just put the police dogs on him. We ain't got to study nothing. But when it comes to Elijah Muhammad, God's message, his effect is like an explosion. This explosion is so different from all them similar. We need to study him. So it goes on to say, he says, Dr. C. Eric Lincoln, a Negro clergyman and professor of philosophy, has done a very thorough sociological study of the black Muslims, the followers of Elijah Muhammad. The Nation of Islam grows by leaps and bounds among Negroes in the United States. He says the Nation of Islam is attacking our civilization at its very heart. That was the white man. He said in 1961, Elijah Muhammad and them attacking our civilization, not our country. He said our civilization. That's right. The white man on the whole planet Earth. He attacking it at the heart. That's what the white man said. They don't say nothing like this about this nigga bus stop while this nigga sipping his tea, copying off the messenger. Right. He's so comfortable with talking about the messenger like he ain't nothing. But it's because of the messenger that niggas like you don't get bothered. They would rather have chump niggas like bus stop than to have brothers like who follow the messenger. They rather have these chumps. Yes. They rather have a chump like bus stop that all you gonna do is harass a preacher. I saw them. All them IUIC Detroit. They went to Marvin Winans Church. That's how elite they are. They got all these big fat pot belly brothers with the beards talking about we outside with Marvin Winans. Messenger had brothers surrounding police stations. Yes. This chump. Why these crackers don't mess with this chump? Right. That's why I can't wait till he sees some Muslims. I just want to be with him. I don't care if I'm in the front or the back. But I want to be somewhere in the crowd where I can look at this nigga face. Because the nigga gonna have a different look on his face. When he see Muslims who love the messenger got unity. Yes. When he see this hypocrite Farrakhan out the way. Yes. When you see Muslims who love the messenger, it's a different thing. Yes, sir. You are a brother. Keep it real. You are a black brother. That's what the messenger taught us. Right. He said even with these imps, they your black brother. Right. They just acting other than their own self. Yes, sir. But the messenger said, you can have an enemy in your own house. Yes. So even though bus stop them are black brother, you are enemy. You going against God's messenger. Yes. So because we believe he the messenger, we got to fight you. Yes. That's just how it is with believers. And the messenger say we fight with what we have. That's right. It's only a few, we fight with a few. Yes. But when it's a lot, we fight with a lot. Right. It don't make no difference to us either way. We gonna fight when it's a lot or when it's a little. But I want to see his face when he sees some Muslims. Just like on that Malcolm X movie. One of the incidents that Spike Lee decided to cover was in New York. It happened in New York. It happened in Detroit. It happened in Chicago. It happened in Los Angeles. Muslims surrounded the police station. That was followers of the message. For one black brother. That was the brotherhood the messenger had. The white man never seen that kind of brotherhood in his life. You have all these black men that will march down as an honor guard and surround the police. I read it was the brother who was the minister in Los Angeles. He was at the funeral of Ali Rashid. He was taking a trip down memory lane. He said when he first came to Los Angeles, he said he was in the minister, I forget what temple, I want to say Connecticut. But he said one day he was at the messenger's home and the messenger said, how fast can you be in Los Angeles? That's how brothers say to Jeremiah said the same. He said he was over the messenger's house. They had an incident that happened in California or in Atlanta, and the messenger was just on the phone and they talking about something happened where the minister had to be relieved or something. So when he hang the phone up, Jeremiah said to the messenger, how fast can you be in Atlanta? He live in Philly. That's how the messenger was. So the brother in Los Angeles, he said when he first came to Los Angeles, he said Captain Ali Rashid took him for a ride around the city. He said so they can survey and see what was going on so he can know what was happening in his city. So he said that incidents was happening where the police was attacking or harassing brothers selling papers. This is what he was saying at the funeral. He said, so one day, him and Captain Ali Rashid got the brothers who was available. He didn't say we got the best brothers we could find. He said any brothers that was just sitting around like, hey, come on. We about to go to this police station. He said they had enough brothers to surround the whole police station in Los Angeles. He said him and Ali Rashid went inside of the police station, talked to the police captain. He said, look, y'all keep harassing these brothers. He said, we've been taking it. Y'all harass brothers for doing nothing else but selling papers. He said, but when you hit these brothers with your billy club, he said, that we will not take. So he let the put from here on out. If you keep her, we fighting back. That's how the messenger raised the FOI. He said the white man is like a snake of the crafted type. He said he will not strike you or he will strike you without giving you a warning. Right. He said the Muslim is like that rattlesnake. They will not strike you without giving you a warning. I even heard from some of them old fruit. They said if a brother was a lieutenant and he went to the police station, he talking to another lieutenant. He ain't talking to no little sergeant. No, where your lieutenant at? If he was the captain, he talking to the police captain. I ain't talking to no sergeant. I'm a captain. That's how the FOI, they love Bus Stop. They love him. But let's go on even further with the art. The bright man says, he says the Nation of Islam is attacking our civilization at its very heart. It teaches hate, not love. It teaches that the black man is superior to the white man. It does not fuss with definition, white is white, and those who are not white are some degree of black. They want no commingling of races, no assimilation, no disintegration, as Muslim minister Malcolm X a powerful leader of this movement, said, "We are never the aggressor. We will not attack anyone. We strive for peace, for relationships with everyone. But we teach our people, if anyone attacks you, lay down your life. Every Muslim is taught never to initiate a fight. Respect another man's rights, whether he is white, black, brown, yellow, or whatnot. Respect him as a man. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Never be the aggressor. Never look for trouble. But if any man molests you, may Allah bless you." All right. So it goes on to say, it says false security. He got a whole section that says false security. It says Dr. Lincoln's book is one to read because we so-called whites sit in false security, hardly understanding or even knowing what goes on about us. Then he started quoting some of Lincoln's book. He says, "I cannot go further into quotations from this remarkable book, but I do recommend it to those who wish to understand what is going on in the lives of 15 million Americans. We need to understand them if we are not to find ourselves increasing ugliness such as Little Rock, Montgomery, New Orleans have experienced." So this was the white man in my conclusion. This was the white man looking at the messenger. Looking at him teaching the black man that you superior to the white. You better than the white man. The black man has a natural beauty given to him by God. He was created beautiful. You was created wise. You was created in harmony with the planets. But the white man is not. Messenger said you talk against black supremacy and you never lived under black supremacy. You only lived under white supremacy. But before white supremacy, there was black supremacy. It was black supremacy from the beginning. So let's go with one more. I done ran out of time. Last one we gonna talk about is Alex Haley. It's a lot you can say about the message. I just wanna, you just start remembering stuff going in there. You done brought all of this stuff that I done brought to talk about, but your mind going into us, cause it's so much stuff to talk about the message. You can be here for days. But the last person that I'm going to talk about is Alex Haley. Alex Haley is another that was put on the map because of the message. Most people think Alex Haley got his start with the autobiography of Malcolm X or with Roots. But Alex Haley's beginning started with his Time Digest article called Mr. Muhammad Speaks. Right. Because just like was said before, they said if you want to know about us, hire some black reporters. Right. So Alex Haley has saw the hate produced. He saw that how it worked out for Lomax. Right. So he say, look, he went to his bosses. How about I write an article on these black Muslims? They was like, you want to? Go ahead. Go do it. So when you read about, in my conclusion, when you read, because Alex Haley's first encounter with the Muslims, he talked about it. He said he first came to Malcolm X. He asked Malcolm X, could he be interviewed? He said Malcolm X was kind of hesitant because he said that Malcolm X saw Alex Haley as the white man's spy. So he said Malcolm X told him that he can't just do the interview with him. He said he got to get permission from the messenger. That's when Alex Haley flew from New York and went to Chicago. Had a meeting with the messenger. We got to make that clear. Yes, sir. Because a lot of people like to take the credit from the messenger. Yes. Make it seem like it was Malcolm X. It wasn't Malcolm. It was the messenger. Every interview, he couldn't even talk to Alex Haley without the messenger giving it the okay. Right. He the national representative over one of the biggest temples in the nation. Little old Alex Haley writing in Time Digest. He couldn't even interview him. He had to go see the messenger first. After he saw the messenger, then he went back to Malcolm, and Malcolm specifically told him, now that the messenger okayed it, now it's cool for us to do. That's what Alex Haley said. Yes. So we said, I wish we had more time. We might do part 2 next week, because I had a whole lot to say. Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful, sole master's day of judgment in which we now live, the alone that we serve and the alone teach for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou spell thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is earth to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves, and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.